Hi, Ben here, and I am wearing a really awesome Star Wars t-shirt that my wife got me for my birthday this month. This is the second time I've gotten to show off my awesome t-shirt today in video form, and third, you really don't care about that. Actually, if you're watching this video, then you probably care about how I set up my WordPress blog to function as a resource site. Now, a few years ago, I made a conscious decision to set up my blog in this fashion rather than the typical blog where, something goes at the top and all the old stuff goes to the bottom and all the little categories, if I have any, are over in the side. Okay, I've had a few questions about this recently, and I thought some teachers that are using WordPress, especially teachers now more so in my own district, might want to set up their blog a similar way. So first things first, let's go to my blog. So here we go. This is the Tech Savvy Educator. This is techsavvyed.net. This is my blog, and you can see at the top, instead of having the post right off the bat, I have got a few categories. Okay, language arts, math, science, social studies. Now I set this up on purpose because my blog this particular blog is dedicated to providing people with practical solutions for using technology in their instruction. So I didn't necessarily want to start with a post, but maybe just something really quick where, I'm a language arts teacher. Oh yeah, I want to go find out some useful things about emergent literacy or reading or writing. Okay, so there we go. That's why I have it set up this way. Now, how did I do it? Well, there's actually three things I'm going to show you. Okay, I'm going to show you how I set this up using categories. And then how I went ahead and set up these categories to appear at the top. And then last, I'll show you what I do when I actually blog to make sure they show up there. Okay, so first things first, let's go to my dashboard, which is the back end of this blog. And here we go, we're at the dashboard. All right, so this is what all WordPress powered blogs look like on the back end, whether you're using WordPress.com or a self-installation from WordPress.org. I'm going to come over here to the sidebar, you'll see right here, and I'm going to go ahead and click on Posts. Okay, and once I click on Posts, then I'm able to get to some of the sub-menus, like adding a new one, tags, and categories. So way back when, in the baby days of blogging, back in like 2005, which still wasn't quite the dawn of blogging with WordPress, I went ahead and I set up some categories. So I'm going to click on categories right here, and this is step one, setting up categories. And you can see I've got a bunch of them here. Not all of them appear on the home page. We'll get to that, okay? But step one, you create your new categories right here using this interface. Okay, so if I wanted to, I could go ahead and create a category called physical education. Okay, and it's going to go ahead and ask for a slug. Now, I don't have to put a slug in there. That would just be something like a shorthand for it that would pop up in the URL. So if I wanted to, I could go phys ed or phys-ed. I'm not going to do that. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and leave it blank. And then I'm going to come down here. If I want to, I can even give it a description. Okay, this would probably be just for my own uses. As you can see right here, it says some themes may show it, which usually means some themes usually don't show it. So I don't put any descriptions for my categories in there. So I'm going to go ahead and click Add New Category. And there's physical education, and here's that slug it created for it. Again, don't worry about the slug, okay? That's just for the sake of the URL. Now, if I wanted to, I could make this a subcategory, or I could make it a child category. So right down here, when I create a new category, I have the choice to give it a parent. So when I was creating physical education, I could have given it a parent category, maybe down here in science, okay, or maybe something else, right? You can see that I have got lots of categories and subcategories. Again, I took a lot of time setting these all up, and I'm not always creating new categories, but every once in a while I'll do that. So if you come down here, you can see, again, I've got the same sort of setup. Here's language arts. Again, I created this category a long time ago. You can see I've got 130 posts in that category, and then here are the child categories. Language arts is the parent, digital storytelling, emergent literacy, reading and writing are the child categories. And you saw that on the front end of my blog when I hovered over it. Okay? So that's setting up the categories. If you're really interested in creating a resource site with WordPress, I would highly recommend creating some site kind of taxonomy using categories in this nature. Okay, on to number 2. Once I've gone ahead and created all these categories, how do I get them up here in this nice, easy little sort of menu bar or slider? Okay, well, there's 2 ways you can do it. One, you can go the easy route and head over to elegantthemes.com. This is a really cool place that has a lot of really great premium themes at a really reasonable price. Okay, now when I say reasonable, $40 per year. And I don't want this to sound like an advertisement, so I'm just going to leave it at that. I pay their yearly subscription. I have access to all their themes. This happens to be one of their themes. And what it allows me to do is something really cool. I'm going to go ahead and go back to the dashboard, and I'm going to click on Appearance. Now, once I get that theme from Elegant Themes, and this requires some stuff that I'm not going to show you in this screencast because hopefully you have techie people that can help you. Or if I'm the techie person that helps you and you're watching this, then give me a call or shoot me an email and I'll come help you. Now this theme is really cool, and it has something that's included by Elegant Themes. Okay, it has a really nice theme option and editor. Okay, so here's the e-panel for this theme. All of the themes from Elegant Themes have this e-panel, and when I come in here, I can click on Navigation, and then I can click on Categories. By default, this theme has that navigation bar across the top. I didn't have to do anything. All I had to do was activate that theme, and ta-da, it was there. Now all I have to do is just come in and tell it which categories to exclude. I don't want conferences and featured articles and forums and games and all this other stuff. I just want the things that I know most K-12 teachers are going to be interested in seeing, right? The big stuff, language arts, science, math, environment, digital storytelling, music, those sorts of things. And that's all I have to do. If I click on this, I say, I don't want art there anymore. I come down here and click Save. I'm sorry, honey, my wife is an art teacher. She would never let me get away with that. So I'll go ahead and I'll put art back. There we go. That's all I have to do. Like I said, this is the cheater, the really quick, easy way. But you might not have this as an option. Maybe you can't afford the yearly fee or the fees for a premium theme. Or 2, you may be on WordPress.com. And if you're on WordPress.com, you're limited to the themes they have. So this is the other way to get around that. All right. Under Appearance, most WordPress themes have something called a menu. And what you do is you click on Menus, and what you can do is you can build a custom menu. You can see right here, I've got no custom menus, okay, but I'm going to go ahead and do one real quick. Okay, so here I am in my WordPress menu editor, and most WordPress themes will have the ability for you to create menus, and as you can see right here, I have none. All right, I'm going to create one just for the purpose of this tutorial, but I'm not actually going to use it. So I need to come up with a name for my menu. Okay, this is important because some themes have more than one menu space. You could have a menu across the top, across the bottom in a footer, or maybe over in the sidebar. I'm just going to go ahead and create one menu, main menu. I'm going to say Create. Now there's a whole bunch of things that I can add to this menu. Okay, first of all, over here in Theme Locations, I have a choice of which menu to put in the primary menu space. Like I said, some themes have more than one location. This theme only has one, and that's the primary menu at the top. Okay, so I would have to come over here and choose Main Menu. Now when I do that, it's going to go ahead and replace whatever menu I have up there with this custom menu that I'm building right here. And as you can see, it's telling me to select menu items, pages, categories, links from the boxes at the left. I can go ahead and I can have a lot of fun with this. I can add custom links to add to my menu to maybe sites that are off of my site, so like maybe my school's website or a teaching resource website. Maybe I need to get my kids to Discovery Streaming, or I need to get them to Pearson SuccessNet or some other tool. I could go ahead and build menu links here. Or I could come down here and give links to both my pages or my categories. Okay, and this is what I might do. I might go ahead and say select all of my categories and then add these to the menu. And then when I do that, it'll take a moment here because I got a lot of categories. they'll appear right here in my main menu. And now what I can do is I can go ahead and I can arrange this based on how I think it might best suit the needs of the people that I'm reading. So I could go ahead and I could drag art all the way to the top. This will appear first in that menu. I can even take these and I could drag them over to the side, and this would create a hierarchical menu, right? So art would be that main button that you would hover over or you would click on, and then technology would appear below it. So if I take a little bit of time and try and recreate that menu, I'll drag language arts to the top here. Alright, so if I use language arts as my example, I've got language arts added here, and then I'm going to come over here to my categories. I'm going to view all of them, and I've got my digital storytelling, emergent literacy, and reading. I'm going to add these to the menu, and you see it adds it to the bottom, but I'm going to drag these up, and I'm just going to do them real slow like for the sake of adding them here, and boop, there we go. And I'm going to drag them all over to the side here. Okay, so I'm not actually changing the location of these categories or anything on my site. All I'm doing is just changing how they appear in my menu. So language arts would appear as a top link in my menu, and when you click on it or hover over it, then these would appear underneath it. And as you can see, I could go even further. So if I wanted to, I could build multi-tiered menus. They get a little crazy though, so you don't want to go too far. I would recommend no more than 2 tiers on your menu. Okay, when I'm all done, I click Save Menu, and then what's going to happen is on the front of my blog, my menu will appear as I've constructed it, as long as I've told it to use this menu. Okay, now like I said, I could create as many menus as I want, custom menus. I could have a main menu, I could have a sub menu, I could have a menu for the footer, right? Or maybe I could have 2 completely different menus based on how I want my blog to be presented or seen. Maybe if I'm going to go work for an entire semester with a different group of students, you know, I could have one menu that's set for all of my first semester classes, another menu that's set for all my second semester classes. Just an example. Okay, now, I don't need this, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to delete this menu. Bye-bye. And just like that, the menu is gone. I haven't deleted these categories. They still exist. I've just deleted this menu. Alright, so I told you the first 2 things. The last thing is, how do I actually use these? Well, when I am blogging, right? So let's take for an example my most recent blog post, Thoughts on the Connected EDU Conference, which happened in Jackson, Michigan last week. Let me go ahead, or last weekend, I should say. I'm going to go ahead and click on Edit, and all my categories appear over here. So I went ahead and I wrote up my blog post, like every good little blogger does, and then I came over here to categories, and I clicked on those categories. Conferences, and right down here I'll click technology because there was some technology involved, all right, and anything else that I would want to, right? So I've got some other categories that I could go look through and I could click on, but for the sake of this post, I just wanted to keep this in conferences for now. I don't have a connected educator category yet. I probably should. So I'm going to go ahead and click update. There we go. And now my blog post will appear in those 2 categories, in the conference category and in the technology category. All right. So I'm going to go ahead, come back here, go to the front of my site. Okay, so here's the front of my site, and that's how I have built up my menus on my blog so that it functions more as a resource site first and then a blog second. And it's kind of fun, and it takes a little while, and you'll find that the more you do it, the more categories you want to build into it. So if you take that time initially to build up the main categories, then it's a lot easier to go in as you're blogging and even add secondary or child categories. So there you go. That's the back end of my blog, how I have it set up. I hope it's helpful to you, and if it is, fantastic. I know this was a really long screencast. I apologize, but I hope it was worthwhile. Adios.